Hi guys, my name is Shakura and I'm here with the host Aminata already, and I just had a couple questions for her because I know she's been wanting to do this podcast for a while, so I just had a couple questions for her and asked her why she wanted to start this podcast. Like, what gave you the idea to start the podcast?
Um, First of all, it was never my thing
Mm,
because even though I do content creation,
mm-hmm,
I'm shy on the camera. Like,
mm,
let's not this fool you,
mm,
but I'm shy. But I think it was in. I'm not sure how I will have to look in my calendar where I do usually
mm,
wrote everything.
mm-hmm,
If it were at the beginning of the year 2024, I might go at the end.
mm-hmm,
But that's when it was. I can say the idea was given to me, which was like,
mm,
nah. I'm to wanna be fun. What
yeah.
like what would be my different?
Mm,
And I'm someone who doesn't like to
mm,
just because I saw someone doing it, it doesn't mean that I
mm,
have to do it. Natakaga something that I have to do, it should be something special. And why am I doing it? The reason behind the
mm,
why.
yeah.
But I guess it was something that was put in my head, and I was like, okay, maybe not. We see. So honestly, it
Mm,
was never my thing until in that particular moment, 2024. I don't remember the month, but I have to look at it.
mm-hmm.
That's when it was just something that was put in my heart. I was like, you know what? Maybe we do, even though I was not planning to say, okay,
Yeah,
2025, this
we'll be
month
there.
I'll be
Yeah.
doing it. And no,
Yeah.
but it was given to me at that moment.
Another question is like,
Yeah.
even they got the idea, but
Yes.
what made you want to start a podcast? Because you could do a lot of different things. You could just post a little bit of stories and here, like just
Mm-hmm.
sharing your like advice and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what made you want to start like a podcast? Like,
So the thing is, even with my other account,
yeah,
which is the one that I do fashion,
mm,
vlog, and everything, I like to put some words. Natakaga, even if it's like cover, whatever it
mm,
is, someone can have something taken from that. Like,
mm-hmm.
it just I guess napenda kuwa na bring value to people
Value, yeah,
lives depending on what it is, however it is. I like it, but I feel like with the podcast I wanted this specific place
yeah,
where I don't have to do niko na avoid distracting people.
yeah.
Like I wanted this to be okay.
Just
He need for that.
okay.
Yeah.
Another question is, like
Mhm.
it's very new. The space is very new,
Mhm.
and my question is,
Mhm.
when somebody like clicks on Instagram and sees the profile, like, what do you want them to know the space is like?
Mhm.
What is it meant for? They can come here. What is the space meant for? Like the word space.
Okay. This space. Honestly, at the beginning, it was never the word this space.
Mm,
What I was in that moment where it was like, okay, I'm going to start the podcast.
mm,
The name was Vulnerable Place,
mm,
which that's something that I guess with the way that we're talking, even when I was telling you the idea and
yeah.
everything I was supposed to be and all. When you said this space, I don't know how you came up with that, but it felt like
Okay.
vulnerable place, this space,
Yeah.
which is like kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But the idea of the space, I want it to be a place, not a location, but a
Mm,
place even when, for example, maybe in the future when other guests starting coming in,
mm,
I want this space to be a place where you get to be vulnerable.
mm,
You get to feel free to talk about things that we usually don't talk
yeah.
because we'll be having different topics to talk about from faith to our today life
Yeah.
to how faith and our life kind of come together.
Yeah.
So with that, I want people, even when we are talking like this, even me, I want to
Mm,
be able to be vulnerable. I don't like it. Let me just
mm,
say that. I won't lie. It's something I don't like being vulnerable with people. I don't like people having things that I can use against me.
mm,
But I think also the vulnerability is something that when you bring it to people, it
mm,
may impact people because I feel like I've lived for years where it was never an option to be
mm,
vulnerable. But I think even in the season that I am in my faith and everything, I'm required
mm,
because it's not always rainbow and perfect.
yeah.
We all have journeys. We all have history that we came from one place to the other. So I want
Yeah.
people to see behind
This.
this
Yeah.
and be able to be like, even when they're here with me talking, so they can feel like it's this instead of the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
So that's why this space.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, so when you first like thought of the idea, were you scared of people's judgments?
Oh
Like,
yes, even
like
now,
yeah,
even the way that we are talking now, I'm
yeah.
like, maybe they'll be like, oh,
She's
so,
studying a new account.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
come out
Okay.
winging.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think at the end of the day, when you have something
Yeah. In
that you
you.
are given, but there are always people who are going to say this or
Yeah.
she did it. I mean, even same thing. Even when I started doing content creation,
Mm.
fashion,
You didn't think it was gonna go anywhere.
I started it as a joke.
Yeah.
Honestly, now I can say that I became a content creator by accident because it
Yeah.
wasn't. Every time I was like, how can I just me in front of people now, their camera there, just starting talking about stuff.
Yeah.
But now I realize there's something that was meant to be,
Mhm.
and that's why trusting in God and whatever you put in your heart, which is even with the podcast. I know some people may say, another
Yeah.
one is coming. I mean, you have so many,
Yeah.
but I think we all have something in us, and I'm gonna and
Yeah.
there'll be people who need to hear this.
Yeah.
There'll be people who needed this moment, this time, this podcast, maybe to change their opinion for so many reasons, to
Mm.
impact people in different ways. Maybe this was what is needed,
Yeah.
and only know, even maybe I believe this is for a reason,
Yeah.
and people who need this will have the opportunity
Yeah.
to experience this.
Okay, and one last question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your like future plans with the space? Let's say it grows, people start to follow. Like, what is your plan with the space?
Honestly, I don't have a I don't have a big plan to say, okay, I have this.
Yeah.
The one thing that I know is that I have this calling to create a place where
Mm.
pe- people can sit in their houses, listen, watch,
Mm.
and hear different stories and be able to bring topics, as I said, that we don't usually talk about.
Mm.
And the more it grows, I feel like the more God will be there guiding everything and however He want this to go.
Mm.
That is how it's going to be. Like
Mm.
I'm not here be like, okay, I'm planning because this is not my
Yeah.
other account. It's okay. I'm planning in 30 years, in 30 days to
Mm.
do fashion like this. Like whatever God put in my heart, whatever He want this to like He's the one who is running everything.
Yeah.
I'm just a vessel where I'm doing what I'm trying to do. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys. Those are the questions that I had for her. And thank you for watching this little part.